All right, Marcy, it's all yours now.
Well, no
Perfect
pressure.
transition.
My idol is watching. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Marcy, here's the thing, Marcy. Everyone's super excited. The 500 people watching on YouTube live, they're going to a musical now.
Oh, that's right. We recorded this and she said it. I heard it. It's going to be so much fun. Well, I mean, just what an honor to speak after Joy, who has been my role model and idol for so long, whether she knows it or not, but she knows now. So thank you, Joy, for everything. And I think Joy said it so well about doing something that you love and being around people that are excited and ambitious and following a dream and really going after something and putting one foot in front of the other every single day and not letting those obstacles get in their way, but just, moving forward. And I think that's what I love so much about inventors. And I remember being at my first inventor conference, and I've spoken about this before. I'm not going to go into detail, but I just remember looking around and meeting people and going, this is home for me. Like these are my peeps, because it's so nice to be around people that are excited and passionate and ambitious. And you don't find that every day. You really don't. And so, excuse me, something in my throat. I feel so blessed to be running the Women Inventors Club now, because I feel that every day in that club. And there's about 500 women that are, following their dream, and the support system that I'm seeing with them lifting each other up and sharing ideas. And it's just the coolest thing. And as much as I love creating products, and I'm doing a lot of live shopping now in addition to HSN, so Amazon Live and Pinterest TV and things like that. And so that's so much fun for me. But my greatest joy, no pun intended, but my greatest is helping female inventors. I mean, helping inventors in general, but the Women Inventors Club has just been such a gift to me. So that's been wonderful. When I made the decision to start working with inventors and doing what I can to help, and when I met you, Carmine, and came on as an ambassador to the UIA, I think why I did it, first of all, I felt so blessed that I have had success in this space. And if there's a way for me to help others, why wouldn't I do that? But as I took time during the pandemic and had the time to really look at and get involved with the inventor community, I didn't like the statistics that I was seeing. I had no idea until recently that there's a 95% failure rate, and that there are only 7% of the patents that are filed in America are done so by women. And I wanted to understand it. I wanted to know why, because I think, like as Joy said, you don't have to create a rocket ship to be a successful inventor. It can be just this small little thing that somehow makes life easier or better, or helps you be organized, or save space, or save time. It doesn't have to be anything major. And what it takes to take that idea and bring it to market isn't rocket science. We can all do this. And I thought, I just want to be able to share what it is that I've learned on my path, because believe me, it was not a straight, smooth path. I mean, there were so many obstacles, I can't even begin to count them. There were so many days when I wanted to fall on the ground and cry and quit and all of those things.
Marcy, let's talk about that. Let's talk about when you started, like Joy being your inspiration, right?
Yeah.
You got this one. How nervous were you in the beginning? I mean, you have to be nervous a little bit, right? Being in front of this camera, all these people, you don't know who's watching, but you have to perform.
Yeah. I mean, that part for sure. And I want to start with the first major obstacle that was in my way, and why I reached out to Joy was, here I won this Kelly Ripa invention reality show, and I figured that the producers of the show were going to help me bring this product to market, because at this point it was a handmade prototype and an idea. And then when the cameras went off, I had X amount of months to actually make this into a product that they could sell live on television.
Good luck.
And I'm like, where is everybody? Where's my manufacturer? Where's my Hello?
You
No,
mean there's more?
I was all alone. And just was sitting there going, where do I even begin? I don't know what I don't know. Oh my gosh. And I was so scared. So were you scared? That was more scary to me than going on television was, am I going to make it to the point where I can be on television? Here I've been given this gift of being able to launch on HSN and I don't have a flipping product to launch. And so that is when I was like, I've got to pull out all the stops. I have got to kick fear to the curb, as I always say. And I've got to make those tough phone calls and reach out to people and ask for help and find guidance somewhere, somehow, and make this happen. And so I had started watching Joy. And so she to me was at the height, like she was as good as it gets. And she just is the queen of home shopping. And I just, but it was the scariest phone call to make. It's first of all, how would I even get in touch with her? And she would never return my call and all of those things. And I just remember the moment that I just said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure this out. I did get in touch with her. She did help me. It was all those little scary moments and pushing through that fear and making the decision. And I remember making it so vividly that failure was not an option, that plan B was not on the table. And that it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to try to make this work. It was, I'm doing this. And I just so believe that if you're watching this, I believe you must have a great idea because you're here wanting to learn to bring that to market. And as both Joy and I have said, there's never been a better time to be an inventor because two things. Number one, the retail landscape right now. I mean, people are buying. Store shelves are empty and buyers are craving more products, new innovations. Look what's happening at Amazon. I mean, it's crazy. So it's there for the taking in terms of, the need for products and once you get this product on the market, the ability for it to have some success. There's also so many tools out there. You guys have talked about them already today, some of them. There's groups that will support you. There are YouTube videos to teach you. I mean, it's all there and most of it's free. So you take those tools that are available and you combine it with this retail landscape that is ripe. And you would think with those two things that it would be 95% success rate, not 95% failure rate. And so then I ask myself, and a lot of people ask me now that I'm doing speaking like this is, so what makes the difference? Like, what is it that makes the 5% successful? And how do we harness that? And so I spent a lot of time inside my Women Inventors Club and outside as well, trying to understand it. And I think that it comes down to really intangible things that I think is what I'm about to say, I think holds true no matter what industry you're in. What is it that makes a multimillionaire when someone else is just struggling and chugging along? What is that difference? And when it comes to inventions, I want to keep it really inventor specific here. The very first thing I think that makes a difference is committing to do the stage of invention that nobody wants to do, and that is product validation. And you guys have talked about it a little bit, but I cannot stress that enough. And I created a video on, it's a 5-step formula that I use on to validate my own products. And you can get that on my YouTube channel. There's no cost or anything to watch it. And there's even a download that's sort of a workbook of those 5 things. And I just encourage everybody to do it. If you have an idea, even if you're knee deep already developing your idea, it's not too late. Because nothing but good can come from it. I think as inventors, we're afraid to validate our product ideas because what if we find out it already exists? Or what if we find out that nobody wants to buy it or buy it at the price point that I want to sell it at or can sell it at? But one of two things is going to happen. Number one, you're going to figure out that it's not going to sell. And thank God you figured it out before you invested all of this time and money, and you can put that aside and move on to something that will. Or number two, you're going to figure out that it is viable and that it's going to give you that confidence to move forward, but not just the confidence. If you go through the steps, you're going to come away with hard data. You're going to come away with a really clean competitive analysis on where your product fits and how, and who your customer is and how to market to them successfully. And I know a lot of people are probably sitting there thinking, well, yeah, but I'm not going to bring my product to market myself. I'm going to license it, so this doesn't really apply. But it absolutely applies, because when this kind of leads me into my next, the thing that I think separates success from failure is, if you decide to move forward with this product after you've done product validation, the ones that have success in the research that I've done and what I've witnessed myself are the ones that treat their product like it's a business, and that they are the CEO of this business, whether they're bringing it to market themselves or going to license it. Because I deal with these big licensing companies all the time, and I ask them what's important to them when they're evaluating a product to license. And coming in as a professional with a deep, vast knowledge of the market that you're in and what the competitive landscape looks like and where your strengths and weaknesses are, that goes so far, not only in their minds and them being impressed with who you are and knowing that they're getting into a contract with someone that is, will be a great partner, but it helps them do their job better because you have done that legwork for them. And so they're going to be justifying this decision to their higher up, or maybe they are as high as it goes. And that helps them internally go, wow, this really has legs and I want to go for this. So that product validation and then coming in like a professional, I just can't stress the importance of that enough. And so the other part to that, to me, is what that means is, creating a great LinkedIn profile and creating, if not a website for your product, at least a landing page that shows that you're the real deal. Because there are so many inventors and inventions being thrown at these people. And even if you're just trying to find someone to make a prototype for you or something and no one's taking your calls, when you set yourself up as a professional, you're going to be so much more likely to make headway in all of those spaces. Super important. And I already touched on that piece about when I was saying, when I was moving forward, that make failure not an option. If you've now decided you've done this validation and you're going to go for this, then go for it. And no matter what obstacle comes up, you guys have heard me say it before. I always talk about the whack-a-mole game. They're just that arcade game that kind of keep popping up. And as Joy said, that does not go away. No matter how successful you are, the obstacles just get bigger.
You can imagine, I'm in manufacturing, right? So I see these all the time. And we're doing all my manufacturing in the US, so I see them probably less than someone doing it abroad. But man, I mean, like everyday life in manufacturing, there's some obstacle. The press is not working, something happened to the tool, delivery didn't show up. You can go on, but you just have to make it work, like you said. Like I always say, there's nothing I can't do. I always, that whole half glass, half full. Like for me, I can make a bad situation good, always.
I love
always
that.
Take that approach.
Yep.
I mean, I was in Bentonville at Walmart. They gave us a 2-week window to get the super potty trainer on the shelf. Now I hadn't even ordered the resin yet. And everyone said, you're crazy. You don't have a label. You don't have the pads. I said, well, listen, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? I might not have another opportunity for another year. If I'm lucky, another year. I said, I'm doing it. We're going to make it happen. And we did. And that led to enough sales to get on Shark Tank, which led to a deal with Lori and Damon. And now Damon's my partner. But if we just said, the whole whack-a-mole thing, let that thing keep popping up and not attack it, it wouldn't have happened. So you're dead on with that. That is so critical.
Or not to run from it. I mean, I feel like so many people, when those moles come up, when those obstacles come up, it's like, oh, see, it's just not going to work. And then that's what makes us quit. And I love that Thomas Edison, and it's a perfect day to say it. My favorite quote of his is some of life's greatest, failures. Some of life's greatest failures were people who didn't know how close they were to success when they gave up. Right. I always hold on to that when I feel like giving up. because you could be right there. And just, you said it perfectly, Chris, with that. I mean, you kept going, and then look what
we're
happened.
doing it. I just decided that we're doing it, and that's it. We have to make it a 2-week window. I can do things to get around it, but if make it happen and get it into a Walmart shelf, this buyer may never give me another chance. So we made it happen. And to look back now, all the positive things that came from that. Marcy,
Yeah. Oh shoot, you locked up.
Yeah, Chris, you froze up for a second. Like
Okay.
Chris is unfreezing, Marcy.
I wanted to ask you about Amazon. How did you become a? I'm good. No, I was saying, Marcy, how did you become an Amazon influencer?
That's a good question. Somebody came to me and said, you need to do this. And I was thinking, what? I didn't even know what it was. I didn't, I was just kind of curious about it, was really why I did it in the first place. And I was thinking, here I am trying to help inventors. And I thought, if I could make a difference with some of them by promoting their products in some way, maybe that could be cool. I have my own products. Maybe I would want to, I don't even know. It was one of those things where I just said, I'm just going to dive in. And as I did, and I applied for it, and I got approved just to be an Amazon influencer at that time, what I came to find out is so many people get denied. Like, even I don't have a bazillion, I don't have millions of social media followers. People who do aren't getting approved. And I thought, what? It's kind of this mystery. Nobody understands how they choose who they choose. If I had to guess, I feel like my market and who I hit and who I speak to is a bit of more of an untapped market. That there's a ton of beauty bloggers and there's a ton of fashion bloggers. But the kinds of products that I create and the demographic that I speak to is unique to that. So I think maybe that's it. And, but once I was approved and I set up my storefront, I started having so much fun. And what that basically is it's a curated collection of my favorite finds on Amazon. And I think the last statistic I heard is there's like 90 million products on Amazon now. And so it's just can be so overwhelming, I think, to shop there. And so it's so fun for me to really weed through all the noise and find the best of the best and put them inside my storefront. But where I'm really having fun and loving, and I'm going to start doing some education on this because I think it's a huge opportunity for the inventor community, is live shopping. And so I'm doing Amazon live segments on a regular basis. I do 3 times a week. I'm doing one tonight. I'm doing one tomorrow morning. And it is so much fun for me, but I think even more fun for the consumer. Not just fun. We have a great time, but it's also, they are loving shopping this way. And if you look at what's going on in Asia with live shopping, oh my gosh, it is enormous. And the trajectory is this. And we're behind them, but we are playing catch up. And every social media platform is already doing live shopping. The big brands are jumping on. I love that it is a way for inventors, small inventors that are on shoestring budgets, to get their products in front of people with not hardly any money. And so I feel like live shopping can really level the playing field from those big brands and big products that are out there. And I get so excited when I find a kind of a hidden gem product that if I can propel that product to be successful in some way, I love being able to do that.
So that would say that Amazon
Chris,
is probably a little bit behind the QVC HSN, right? Because that was always been live. Right now, Amazon is catching up to that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it follows that model for sure. What I love most about it is that I get to interact with the consumers the whole time. So they're chatting with me and I'm answering back, and maybe they have a question about the product that I'm talking about, or they want to see if it's a jacket, they want to see me model it, or they want me to bring it up closer, or it's just so fun. And you know what? As an inventor, it's so valuable to me to get to know them and connect with them and know what's important to them about products and which ones are the ones that they're getting really excited about and which ones could they care less about. So it's really given me a window to the consumer that I could have never had before. And I really love that. I do a lot also with Facebook groups, and that's been invaluable to me to get to know the consumer and even to have them help me with the process. where I'll ask them, do you like this color or this color when I'm creating a product? Or is this feature important to you? And how much would you pay for this? So that's, to me, that was a game changer, is discovering Facebook groups and live shopping.
So how about like, with our audience, right? And we appreciate you do to help the United Inventors Association. How does somebody get up? How do you work with people? I mean, especially with your whole, the whole women's group now, starting that up, which I think is really, really great, because it could be intimidating, right? This whole inventing thing is intimidating, and having someone that you can trust and know you can rely on is so helpful. So I think that's really a good cause.
Well, thank you.
So how do you get a hold of you?
So my website, marcymckenna.com, it's Marcy with a Y, and there is a contact page there, and there is a tab that says Inventors. I'm considering, and I've kind of been in the works on it, but I end up getting sidetracked with so many other things going on, but creating a website, which I'm calling tentatively the Product Success Hub. And it's a free, it's just a place, because I create a lot of tutorial video, inventor videos that are currently on my YouTube channel, which you can get to all my social media links on my website. But I want a place to be able to put all of the resources that I share with everybody. And I want a place for people to come and interact with each other and connect, because I feel like that connection and that accountability partner, that is so crucial to continuing, to persisting with your invention. If you don't have a support system and people counting on you and you counting on them, it's so easy to get off track. So I want to create some sort of a community similar to what I'm doing with the Women Inventors Club. And the Women Inventors Club is actually a Facebook group, and it is wonderful. We do master classes every other Monday on any given subject that happens to be a challenge for my group at that time. And there is, people posting, having questions about things, and everybody giving their ideas. And you bring up such a good point of the reason why I wanted to do it was because when I started out, it was a very male-dominated world, and I was very intimidated, and I was scared to share my idea with anybody. And so when I found that statistic that was, so low, first of all, I wanted to help more women succeed and get their products out there. But I also wanted to give them a safe space where they could ask questions and not feel intimidated. And I really feel that it is that.
I couldn't agree with you more, Marcy. I've had so many people that come to me that have either been burnt by somebody or given funds and not received any of the services. So I always find, like, they always want to know, how can I trust you?
Yeah.
I think even on Shark Tank, I said to Judy when she first called me, I said, well, I don't know. How can you trust me? You obviously called me to start with. Let me give you my mother's phone number. Call my mother blindly, just randomly, and ask her about me. I mean, outside of that, because I built my whole life on credibility and trust. So I think that's great what you're doing, because that is a safe haven for people who can't trust Marcy, know that they're going to come to somebody and have somebody to go to bounce ideas off, kind of like you did with Joy. I mean, it's exactly the same thing. So that's great. I appreciate that from you 100%.
Yeah. By the way, Marcy started to jump in, but on YouTube, we have so many people thanking you for creating your group. I've had so many good people tell me about the group and all the help you've been. So on YouTube, they're lighting YouTube up, thanking you.
Oh, well, you are very welcome. And thank you, because I do what I do for all of you. I know I'm hoping some of my women inventors are on. And if you are, you guys are a gift to me just as much as the group is to you. So thank you.
Well, Marcy, it was an absolute pleasure to finally do a show with you. I know we had some other ones we were going to do.
I know.
We finally got on the biggest day of the year for inventors.
I'm so glad. And I'm so honored that you guys asked me. So thank you so much. And thank you for doing what you guys do. What an incredible gift to the inventor community.
Thank you so much. It was really great to have you talk to Joy directly.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was
wonderful.
By the way, Marcy, just to let you know, that Amazon influencer thing, myself, Chris, and Aaron Krause, we're the ones who picked the influencer.
Aha.
Don't tell anybody.
No wonder.
It's a secret. It's a secret. So
got it. Okay. Good to know.
Okay.
So, Chris,
Marcy, thanks again. Really appreciate it.